St. Mark's has become like brothers and sisters in our relationships as we've been members for, I guess, 14 years now.
I have been here my whole entire life.
We moved across the street, my wife and I said, oh, let's go see what it's like. And we fell in love with it immediately because the people were so loving and kind and generous and outgoing.
Just walking into the St. Mark's that first day, we were like, oh, this is what we've been missing.
This church is so welcome, like no matter who you are and what you look like, you can just come in, they're welcome.
This year we're celebrating 60 years of existence.
St. Mark's was that little tiny section as you enter, which is now where we keep our choir robes.
Serving out in the community connects to St. Mark's and our legacy because that has been an ongoing piece since the beginning.
The first sermon we came to, the church was marching in the Aurora Pride Parade. Jim and I looked at each other and we're like, it's a church that embraces love for all of humankind.
You get treated the same way as everybody else here. I really feel a part of this church.
We owe it to ourselves and to those before us to be adapting and thinking how the world is now and what God is doing going forward.
They're taking the next steps in connecting our youth and our beliefs and our ideas into the church.
It just feels like a dynamic environment.
So 2020 has been a year, my friends, and I think we've tried hard to adapt.
I think the church has done a great job, even though it's remote, keeping the youth involved, keeping the music going, doing communion at home together.
The church is doing a really good job putting in a Zoom call and videotaping it, and it's amazing how they do that.
But the Sunday morning virtual service, there I am, sitting with my coffee cup in my jammies and robe with my hubby next to me. And that connection just regenerates me again for the next week.
And so in a matter of a couple weeks, we changed everything. And that's what God sometimes calls us to do. And some people think that we're doing less. Friends, that narrative isn't true. We're doing more.
I think it's been an opportunity to reach deep down and connect with why we're here. You know, we're not here to be able to go to the movie theater all the time, and we're not here to go shopping, and although that is fun. But you know, we're here to help each other.
We've always said that church is not just the building, but church is outside of the building. How do we take that out into the community?
So McCleary is just down the road, and a lot of those kids are on free or reduced lunches. A lot of those kids haven't necessarily had a church partner before. It started out with us just going in and reading books to these kids, which is phenomenal. But each year we're adding another layer. Last year we provided 601 books so that every kid on Christmas got to have a brand new book.
God wants us to be looking for how to help those around us and our neighbors.
And so the Neighbor Project, what they do is they provide people with a place to stay for 2 years. And during those 2 years, they still work, but they're living in these apartments rent-free. And after those 2 years, that money that's being set aside goes to their first down payment, and that house is in Aurora. St. Mark's, we have provided 2 families with homes. And not only are they out of poverty now, but think of their kids, their grandkids, who are on a totally different life trajectory now because of you.
I wish every single person in the world would have a home and be cared for.
Jesus is out there in the world, and if we stay inside here, then we're missing him because he's out there.
Jesus always picks me, but when I respond and say, all right, I'm willing to kind of take this ride with you, Jesus, everything after that is stewardship. So that's everything from care to worship to everything.
Everything we have, everything we are, everything in our being is a gift. How do you use that gift that you are preciously given?
But if you make it about giving of yourself, it takes more of a commitment. And then you feel more like you're returning to Christ what he's given to you.
we're being not only good stewards, but we're really causing an impact. And we're showing our kids that we're going to be a part of what God is doing, not only now, but for years and years to come.
A lot of people wouldn't be who they are today without church.
It binds us together as Christians, and we're still reaching out.
I feel even more connected to God when I'm helping those around me. This is such a big world with so many different people, but we all have so many things in common if we were to just take a second to look.
It's not just about going to church, but it's about being the church in the world. And that, to me, is what it means to be church, and that's what it means to live out our faith.
It's not an inward-facing congregation, that it's an outward-facing congregation. What I want people to say about St. Mark's in 60 years is that we were a community that really welcomes all who came in the door, and that we left a legacy of love.
I hope that others can find a sense of hope and acceptance at our church.
A hallmark in the city as the place you go to when you want to know you are loved.
That organ, I know, will be warming the hearts of the people who are lucky enough to hear it played.
I want people to say St. Mark's is a place that welcomes everyone and shares God's love.
When we take that next step, we get to dream that much bigger. We get to do that much more. We get to be the church as we want to continue to be for 60 years and beyond.